Well, good afternoon. This is the very first of any of these congressional hearings that I have seen whatsoever on the Russia, the FBI, all of this that's been going on for the last couple of years. I do not believe in the right or the left. I want to state that up front. I believe the whole world is a stage and they're all actors. But I was getting ready to make a video on something else. And I always, once or twice a day, I'll click on CNN. And it just seems like more times than not, I come across something the very first second I turn on CNN. You want a good laugh? This is a congressional hearing. Just listen to these actors. Here we go.
He had 500 pages of bias that he gave us, and then he threw a bone to the Democrats and said, but we can't find bias. And let me tell you, when you have text messages, Mr. Strzok, the way you do, saying the things you did, you'd been better off coming in here and say, look, that was my bias. And you kind of get around to that a little bit when you say, hey, everybody's got political views. Those are called biases. And we all have them, and you have come in here and said, I had no bias. And you do it with a straight face, and I watched you
This was live just a few seconds ago, so I backed it up.
in the private testimony you gave. And I told some of the other guys, he is really good. He's lying, we know he's lying, and he could probably pass a polygraph.
Point.
It's amazing.
Mr. Chairman,
No, this is my
Mr.
time,
Chairman, I'm sorry,
and it needs to
point
be
of order.
paused.
This point of order.
No,
The gentleman will state his point of order.
A member of this committee just asserted that this witness, who is under oath and a former agent of the FBI, lied. There is no evidence that I asked him to withdraw it.
I do not withdraw it. He is not a member of Congress. It's not a violation of the rule. And just as you have been expressing bias through your members about what a hero...
There is not a
gentleman
single
up
person on
here
this
and
committee
lied.
who has ever characterized a witness
Gentleman
as
from
lying.
Rhode Island, gentleman-
It's my time.
That's a just.
Gentleman from Rhode Island will
Praise
suspend.
him. No, the disgrace,
Mr.
what this man has done.
The gentleman
to
from
our
Texas
justice
will suspend.
This is
for
better than a
is the
comedy.
disgrace. And it won't be recaptured anytime soon because of the damage you've done to the justice system. And I've talked to FBI agents around the country. You've embarrassed them, you've embarrassed yourself, and I can't help but wonder when I see you looking there with a little smirk, how many times did you look so innocent into your wife's eye and lie to her about Lisa?
Mr. Chairman, this is outrageous.
Credibility of a witness
Shame
is
on
always
you.
an issue.
Mr.
and you-
Chairman, please, there's no...
You know,
Mr. Chairman, this is intolerable harassment.
Use your medication.
The gentleman controls the time.
I'm
I ask
sorry.
that the witness be permitted to respond to
He
that
will be
despicable
permitted. He
assertion.
will be
Did
permitted to
you ever
respond. The
talk
gentleman
to
controls
Hillary
the time.
Clinton during your investigation, besides the one questioning you mentioned, before that or after that to this day?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order, Mr. Chairman. The gentleman will state his point of order. It is, I think, against the rules of the House for a member of the committee to be impugning the character of a witness.
It is not.
He should ask questions to elicit. The purpose of this hearing is to elicit information. He should ask questions to elicit information. He should not be impugning the character of the witness.
The gentleman is advised the rules of the House only are directed to members of the House and the President of the United States.
Therefore, in other words, it is okay to impugn the character of witnesses in any way whatsoever?
Well, listen, I've heard many members on your side of the aisle impugn the character of somebody who is covered by the rules of the House. But the gentleman, the gentleman has 20 seconds left. The clock will be turned back on, and he can complete his time, and then the witness can respond.
So if you talk to Hillary Clinton, other than the time she was examined in front of the witnesses.
No.
So after throwing away what you have with all the bias you have, you've never even gotten a thank you. I yield back.
The gentleman may respond.
Sir, well, that's quite a set of statements.
Mr.
and
Chairman,
not
I did not
respond.
finish with a question.
The
There was
gentleman,
no question asked.
Mr.
Chairman, he's been given the opportunity to
the
respond.
gentleman will suspend. The time of the gentleman has expired, and as I've
The
indicated
rules
earlier.
of our hearings are if there is a question asked during the time, the witness may respond to the question
witness
after
is-
the time.
The witness is going to be allowed to respond briefly.
That's a new rule.
I'm sorry, but these are your elected officials. And I kid you not, I just turned CNN on and this was right there. Unbelievable. The whole world is a stage. Down the road.